Welcome to the Talking Risk podcast. We discuss all things risk, hazard mitigation, insurtech, industry insights, and more. I'm your host, Brian Harris, Risk Control Director with FCCI Insurance Group, and with me is Ralph Hines, Risk Control Specialist with FCCI Insurance Group. All right, everybody, welcome into today's episode. Ralph, good to see you, buddy. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Brian.
Today, we are going to talk about the FCCI Risk Solutions Network. And you might wonder what that is. Well, it's a policyholder portal for a safe and compliant workplace. Basically, every business has safety, compliance, and HR questions, and FCCI Risk Solutions Network has the answers. Last year, FCCI made a significant investment into the Risk Solutions Network, this policyholder portal, platform, dashboard, if you will, and all of our policyholders have access to it. This is why we wanted to make a brief episode today to talk about this system and show you how you can get signed up as a policyholder if you don't already have access. I mentioned every policyholder has access to this, whether you have a $200 policy with FCCI or a $2 million package of policies with FCCI. You all have access to this system, and we hope that you'll take advantage of it. And we're excited to be able to get out and talk with you about this system and what it can do for you. So real quick, I'll go over some of the elements that are available in the network for our customers. You can go in there and you can keep digital OSHA logs for accident and injuries. There's a content library in there with at least 10,000 pieces of content related to safety, industry, regulatory information, formatted materials. There's an HR hotline where a business can send a question in related to employment law type questions, HR type questions, and you can get a response back from a professional with guidance to help you deal with the situation that you're going through out at your workplace. There are a variety of handbook builders and program building tools on the network. There is a job description builder. You can get access to the federal posters, compliance notices, HR self-assessments, sample job descriptions, all kinds of information and tools available. The one that I really think is a game changer is the learning management system, which is basically a dashboard within the RSN dashboard that allows you to assign, schedule, and monitor training of your employees. So if you have a formal safety program and you do training, let's say on a monthly basis, well, the learning management system, which we call an LMS, basically you could go in, let's say in January, and you could schedule the trainings for each employee for the course of the whole year. And you could do it all in one shot. And that system will tell you which employee took the training, when they did it, what score they got. If an employee is past due for the training, you get notified of that as well. So it helps you to manage and monitor your training programs. So, Ralph, tell me a little bit about how you use the Risk Solutions Network, because not only do the policyholders have access to it, but the FCCI risk control team has access to it as well. How do you use it?
Wow, Brian, I use it in a wide variety of ways, and we made that investment a year or 2 years ago to get Risk Solutions Network. It just made my job a lot easier. So I use it as a tool. for safety, for checklists, for sample programs, for policies, procedures. I share it with our underwriters who sometimes there's a section in there called rough notes that gives you an explanation of all the different type of operations out there. But the biggest one I probably use it for is for recommendation compliance for our customers, because I always felt that if we don't give our customers tools and not just make a recommendation, but make a recommendation, review it, its seriousness and importance, and then provide them with resources, I think our compliance rate goes way up. So that's the primary way. But boy, I use it for training handouts, sample programs, for research, facility and job site inspections. And when you're looking at these inspection forms, Brian, there's one for different operations. You can have one for a restaurant. You can have one for a warehouse. You can have an office one. So all the inspection sheets, as well as everything else, are tailored really to fit our customers' needs.
Ralph, out of your policyholders that are using the Risk Solutions Network, what are some of the ways, or what do you see them using the system for up to now?
Sure. I would probably think the number one way is the employee manual, either to update their existing manual or to build a new manual. And the cool thing about this is it's just basically asking you questions and you're filling it tailored based on what your operations are. And then it will give you your employee manual at the end. And you can change, you can update it as needed. It's hard to gauge. My larger customers, I know for sure what they're using it for and how they're using it. But one of the things I do is I tell them, man, once you sign in, you get FCCI sends you a gift. But of course, I'm kidding, and I wouldn't do that. But just really trying to get them out there because, like you had said, there's so much information. Hey, did you know there are also birthday cards, Thanksgiving greetings that you can send employees through Risk Solutions Network? So it's just all encompassing, and it fits our role perfectly.
I did not know that. And now I will use it to send all of my team cards. I will use the Risk Solutions Network to create reminders for myself to send you all holiday greeting cards. Wow.
Nice.
That's a pretty cool little option. And Ralph, you hit on something there that I want to touch on this because we work with a variety of businesses of all different shapes and sizes. Typically speaking, the bigger the business, the more complete or more formal their safety programs and procedures will be. This has a lot of resources for the big business, but also especially for the small business you just mentioned. We may not touch a smaller policyholder as frequently, but through the Risk Solutions Network, they are essentially equipped with a safety program assistant virtually. This platform can help a business that has no policies and procedures documented. They can go from 0 to 100 miles an hour, basically, all with the help of the Risk Solutions Network. So this is a game-changing system for any business who has employees and needs to have a safe workplace, no matter what your size is.
Yes, exactly. And they can even brand it right in their company name as part of, the pre-filling of the whatever program they may be using.
And another benefit of the platform is the efficiency gains, because for a small business or any business, building handbooks, building policies and procedures, building job descriptions, staying up on human resources and employment law is a time-consuming process. The Risk Solutions Network puts a powerful engine right at your fingertips and allows you to really gain that efficiency and tailor and customize what you need for your specific operation quickly. It's right there at your fingertips, literally. This is Talking Risk, the risk control podcast from FCCI Insurance Group. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or by visiting our website, fcci-group.com. Click on Risk Control, then Risk Control Resources, and select the episode you want to hear. Ralph, at this point, we're going to do Hey Ralphie right here.
Hey, Ralph! Ralphie boy!
This is Ralph.
Hey there, Ralphie boy! Ralphie boy!
Ralph? Ralph?
Hi, yeah, Ralph. How you doing there, Ralphie boy? Hey, Ralphie boy!
Hey Ralphie, what is your favorite part of the Risk Solutions Network?
Well, Brian, I'd have to say having it. And I'll give you a little background on that. So I've been doing this for a minute. And back in the day, there was not a lot of resources to share with our customers. Let's face it, I'm a little older. There wasn't an internet. I didn't have a cell phone. So how do we get information to our customers? Well, it was either that the customer developed or the carrier developed resource material to help our customers, or we just read it in a book and typed it as fast as we could on a piece of paper for our customers. So now, though, man, we can give it to our customers. Any employee, if we have a customer with 10 employees, every single employee can sign on. If we have 100 employees, every single employee can sign on. So that's because I'm always looking for materials for customers, right, to help them, achieve compliance with the reg, or just basically to help them. So that's that's my favorite part of it, that we simply have it. And I'm still learning about it, to tell you the truth, Brian.
Well, Ralph, I learned something new here today with you, that you can send cards through the Risk Solutions Network.
Yeah, and to top that, there's even videos cards instead of regular cards, either or.
Folks, if you're not taking advantage of the Risk Solutions Network yet, and you're an FCCI policyholder, you should get signed up today. Okay, Ralph. So yes, you identified your age and how the nature of the workplace has changed over the years with technology, right? When you
Yes.
started, no internet. You had to go to the library, literally to the newspapers, to maybe they had OSHA standards in book form back then, or the insurance carrier had like a loss control library, right? Where they had all these
Right.
books on the shelf, and you'd have to go through and read them and make a photocopy. Not efficient at all. And then we got the smartphone, and that was a game changer for us, helped us with efficiency. Now, with tools like the internet, Risk Solutions Network, it allows us as a risk control team to be more efficient as well, because we can identify the resources and materials that can help you with whatever deficiency or issue that you're trying to address. So we don't have to go searching far and wide for this information. It's right here on our desktop. So it helps us be more efficient. It helps the companies that we work with be more efficient, and it's high quality information. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah, let me say something, Brian. So a couple of years ago, Tiffany, our regional vice president, and forgive me if I messed that up, but she gave us pins that said "Be different." Right. And that's what I think we are doing. Risk Solutions Network and FCCI are being different. And we are I think we're setting ourselves apart. And I just wish our customers would, hopefully this message here will help them understand what resources they got, and they'll take advantage of it.
At FCCI, risk is our business. We provide services that help business owners better understand and minimize the losses they face every day. Our experienced and credentialed professionals have worked in a wide variety of industries, including agriculture, construction, manufacturing, retail, service, and wholesale distributing. FCCI's risk control consultants meet directly with policyholders to learn the unique nature of their business, combine individual recommendations with online resources and tools to create a custom-tailored plan. Our risk control programs provide clear goals, action plans, and survey schedules to help policyholders accomplish their safety objectives. To learn more about FCCI's risk control resources, contact your agent or visit our website, www.fcci-group.com, and click on Risk Control. Let's do an exercise here. let's take a look at a scenario and see how we might be able to apply some of the tools and resources available in the Risk Solutions Network to address this issue. So I'm going to read you. There was a story in the news recently. The businesses will remain nameless for the scenario, but this involves a contractor in the state of Texas, and it says that after a trench collapse in 2021 in which a worker was killed, the contractor and superintendent were accused by the district attorney of criminally negligent homicide. And reading through the news article, I noticed in here that the mother of the deceased worker had indicated that maybe there had been a partial collapse of the trench earlier in the day, and the worker had gone back into the trench to keep working. This worker was also an apprentice, meaning that he hadn't been on the job very long. So, Ralph, we insure a lot of excavating contractors at FCCI, and we've seen fatalities involving trench collapses in the past. Anytime a worker dies, it's sad and it's unfortunate. And it's really unfortunate because it was most likely preventable and it didn't have to happen. So, how would you apply if you were working with this customer or any of our customers in this field before a loss like this? What could we do with Risk Solutions Network to help them? And then if they had an incident like this, how could we use Risk Solutions Network to help them?
Oh, great question, Brian. That's so sad to hear. As long with you, believe 100% preventable, or trenching, as long as we know what we're doing. So that's where I would start. If it's a new customer or an existing customer, we need to find out where they are right now from a trenching standpoint, because Risk Solutions Network has so much information. So let's think of some of the things they have. They have a formal excavation and trenching program tailored to fit each specific company's operation. They have checklists. They have a PowerPoint presentation on trench safety. They have one of the most important things would be pre-planning. And within Risk Solutions Network is a pre-planning document for utility-related work and site prep. So it'll walk through, doing your one call, marking your areas, and figuring out what kind of soil you have. So pre-planning would be huge. And these are all the tools that Risk Solutions Network already has. So we just got to get our customers, and part of our job is to share these things, right? But it has information on soil classification, so you can teach your guys, hey, how do you classify soil correctly? It has information on premises and getting into equipment safety, because that's part of what we're doing in the field, right? It's just so much information. So it can prevent these things up front. And one of the things I would say the most important thing is, everyone's required to be trained. I looked at this contractor's OSHA history, and the biggest violation, well, it was for the fatality, but the second biggest was for lack of training. So we've got to get to that point, and that's what Risk Solutions can provide. And your risk control consultant in your territory as well can also provide that training. So them are the things I can think both before an accident and after an accident that we can use to give tools to as customers, because 100% preventable. Totally agree.
Ralph, what is the number one thing that we look for in quality of risk that we always talk about? What's the number one thing we look at?
We look at management's commitment.
And in this case, this unfortunate example, we see some repeat issues with OSHA and violations, and all of it is unnecessary, right? A quality business with a quality owner and quality management do the right things. They take the time to put the policies and procedures in place. They take the time to train their workers, and they take the time to show that they care. And if they do those things, these kind of unfortunate losses can be prevented.
Yes. And what you're describing is a best-in-class contractor right there. And that's really what we're looking for. Or tell you the truth, we're trying to get our customers to that point in any way we can, in participative ways, of course.
And best in class is where everyone should aspire to be. And the Risk Solutions Network makes it a lot easier for a business to implement policies and procedures, programs, and training. It's all right there. All you got to do is take advantage of it. All right, Ralph, before we sign off, is there anything else that you want to touch on
Well,
before we hang it up?
I've said this line. Forgive me, Brian, for talking over, but I've said this line before, and I think it's important that anybody you pay money to, that the person earning it should earn it. The person receiving it should earn it. Excuse me. So, what a better way? This is part of your package, it's part of your premium. It is a significant cost to us, but we want to give it to you free because it's only going to make you better. And you know what? It's going to let your employees go home every single day, and that's my number one goal.
Thanks, Ralph. Appreciate that. FCCI policyholders, if you are not taking advantage of the Risk Solutions Network yet and you want to, reach out to your risk control consultant today, call them or email them, and they'll get you signed up. Or you can go to the FCCI website at fcci-group.com. Along the top of the page, you'll see a risk control drop-down tab. Click on that. Go to the Risk Solutions Network link, click on that, and then click the button for registering, and we can get you signed up. Until next time, everybody, thanks for listening and stay safe. This is Talking Risk, the risk control podcast from FCCI Insurance Group. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or by visiting our website, fcci-group.com. Click on Risk Control, then Risk Control Resources, and select the episode you want to hear. For Talking Risk, I'm Brian Harris, Risk Control Director with FCCI Insurance Group. Recording copyright FCCI Services Inc. 2022. The opinions expressed in this recording don't necessarily represent those of FCCI, its personnel, or affiliates. This recording is provided for informational purposes only, does not attempt to identify all potential hazards or remedial actions, and is not intended as legal or professional advice. FCCI, its personnel, and affiliates shall not be liable for any loss, death, damage, or expense arising out of your reliance upon this recording. You are solely responsible for complying with applicable law, including any changes in the law, and for the safety of your operations. Please consult your legal advisor with any questions or concerns.